Diddy's former bodyguard says prosecutors want him on the stand in the Tupac unaliving trial. According to him, they want him there for one reason, and one reason only: to connect Diddy to Keffe D.
Us on numerous occasions. I've seen Keffe D around us on numerous occasions. At concerts, in the hotels, several different places. I've seen them, gambling with each other, having fun. So if they bring me in on the puffy, and it's only because they want to make some connections that Keffe D did have some kind of communications and did have some kind of dealings with Diddy. That's why they want to bring me in. You know what I'm saying? I spoke to Keffe D's lawyer, and he wants me to come and testify.
Gene Deal, if you don't know the name, he was Sean Diddy Combs's bodyguard during the Bad Boy era. He was around. He spent the last several years doing interviews about what exactly he saw during that time. This week, he sat down with The Art of Dialogue, and he said authorities have been pressuring him to testify in the Keffe D trial happening right now here in Las Vegas. What they allegedly want him to talk about is the man named Eric Von Zip Martin.
This is the story of ex-Harlem gangster Earl Eric Von Zip Martin, born on October 10th, 1960 in Harlem, New York. Von Zip is widely known as an ex-Harlem gangster who introduced Bad Boy CEO Diddy to the Los Angeles South Side Crips. According to the streets, Von Zip was a well-respected Harlem gangster who a lot of people label the Godfather of Harlem. When it comes to Von Zip, his story first starts off on 118th Street in Harlem. It is said while Von Zip was a kid growing up on 118th Street in Harlem, he would become infatuated with the street life by watching all the hustlers around his area do their thing. According to the streets, one of the hustlers who Von Zip admired and looked up to was Harlem Godfather Bumpy Johnson, who would later become Zip's mentor when he jumped in the streets. According to the streets, sometime in the 1970s, Von Zip would jump off the porch head first into the streets. It is said once Von Zip jumped in the streets, he would begin to sell heroin since that was the best thing moving. According to the streets, over time while he was down in the streets, he would quickly make a name for himself and start generating a lot of money. It is said around this time, Zip was making so much money, he would stack up garbage bags of dollars and fives just to give to the youngsters that was on his block. According to the streets, by the late 80s into the early 90s, Zip would become a heavyweight in Harlem and also a millionaire. It is said since Zip was now a millionaire, he would start looking for a way to invest his money, and that way would be by starting up a record label called Black Rock Music Group. It is said once Zip was able to establish his Black Rock Music Group, he would begin to sign numerous artists to join his record label. According to the streets, one of the artists Zip was able to sign was the late and great Aaliyah, who died in a plane crash in 2001. According to the streets, since Zip now had an up-and-coming record label, he would begin to hang out with hella celebrities and other musicians. And some of those celebrities were NFL wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson, pro boxer Mike Tyson, rapper DMX, rapper Foxy Brown, rapper Notorious B.I.G., Bad Boy CEO Diddy, and many others. According to the streets, while Zip was now in the music industry, he would develop a close bond with Bad Boy CEO Diddy. It is said around this time Zip and Diddy was so close, Zip would be seen damn near every day with Diddy and his Bad Boy artists. It is said as time went by with Zip now hanging out with Diddy, a beef between Diddy and Suge Knight would start. According to Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal, over time the beef between Diddy and Suge Knight became so dangerous, Diddy would turn to Von Zip for help to serve as his protection from Suge Knight. According to Gene Deal, once Diddy asked Zip to serve as his protection, Zip would reach out to some Los Angeles Southside Crips and a man named Keffe D to help him protect Diddy and his Bad Boy artists while they was on the West Coast. According to the streets, since Zip was already doing street business with the Southside Crips and Suge Knight had Bloods on his payroll, Zip felt like introducing the Southside Crips to Diddy was the perfect match. But according to the streets, even though Diddy now had the Southside Crips on his payroll, the beef between Diddy and Suge Knight didn't stop and things would eventually spiral out of control. It is said in March of 1996, an argument would take place backstage of the Soul Train Awards between Death Row and Bad Boy. According to multiple witnesses, the Southside Crips who was with Bad Boy would pull out guns during the argument. But according to multiple witnesses, the Southside Crips would threaten Tupac and Suge Knight, but no shots would be fired. But according to Gene Deal, once this happened at the Soul Train Awards, Diddy would come to a breaking point with the beef and decided to put a bag on Tupac and Suge Knight's head. According to Gene Deal, he seen Zip with $1 million check he believed Diddy gave to Zip. According to Gene Deal, he believed the $1 million check that Zip had was supposed to be given to the Southside Crips for the murder of Tupac and Suge Knight. But according to T.K. Kirkland, instead of Von Zip giving the Southside Crips the $1 million check, he decided to keep it for himself. But luckily for Diddy, Death Row rapper Tupac would be shot and killed that same year by the same Southside Crips Diddy had on his payroll. But as for Von Zip, he would die in 2012 from cancer. But it is said before Von Zip died, the Southside Crips shot caller Keffe D would wear a wire on Von Zip to try to get him to talk about the murder of Tupac. Plus Keffe D tried to put the feds on Von Zip about Von Zip's time in the street as a drug dealer. As for Von Zip, it is said he had a popular nightclub in New York called the Zip Code, and he also drove a bulletproof Benz before he died. He was also on the crime scene of the murder of Tupac and Biggie Smalls.
He says the reason they want him is because they want him to create an association between Keffe D and Diddy. Now, this connects to what jurors already heard. Earlier in the trial, prosecutors played Davis's 2008 recorded interview, and on that tape, Davis claimed that Combs offered $1 million for this hit. However, Deal is not confirming that. Deal is saying prosecutors want him to help build the bridge. Now, this is the part everybody's going to skip. And I want to be extremely clear here, because this headline is going to be everywhere tomorrow. And most of the versions you see are going to be irresponsible. And by that, I'm saying that nothing here establishes that Diddy had anything to do with the untimely demise of Tupac Shakur. Diddy has denied it for roughly 30 years now. He has never been charged in connection with this crime. What we have is a man saying that prosecutors want him to say something. That is 3 steps removed from evidence. That's a claim about a request, about a theory. And here's the part I find most interesting, and nobody's covering it. Deal doesn't sound like he's on the prosecution side.
And you know what I'm saying? I spoke to Keffe D's lawyer, and he wants me to come and testify. And I told him that I was not going to testify. I'll be telling the prosecutor the same thing that I'm telling him. I ain't coming in there on behalf of Keffe D, and I ain't coming there on the behalf of the prosecution to testify against nobody. I'm not doing it. You can't get me to go in there and testify. And if I had to sit down, you know what I'm saying, because they want to deem me a hostile witness, or they want to deem me uncooperative, you know what I'm saying, and hold me in contempt, they could do that. I don't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going in there testifying for nobody, against or for nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I know I've said some things, you know, regarding Keffe D and Puff on the internet, but that ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going in there, you know, to testify for what?
His own stated theory is that authorities have wanted to attach Diddy to this incident for a long time. That if he can say Combs financed a hit on Tupac, then the whole East Coast, West Coast story gets a cleaner shape to it. Everyone at that point has a motive. Everyone's connected in some way. The mess becomes a narrative. He also pointed out that the burden of proof sits with the prosecution, which in every crime, the burden of proof is with the prosecution. And that they actually placed Keffe D in Las Vegas that night with witnesses, photographs, hotel records, or something. So that's what it actually is. You know, it's not a witness helping the state. That's a man on a podcast telling you why he thinks the state's theory is quite convenient, which is a completely different story than the headlines you're going to see. And here's where I land. 30 years of this case have taught me one thing. Everybody in it is telling a story, and every story has a reason. Keffe D talked in 2008 because he was facing life and needed to be more important. Suge tells story from a prison cell. Deal has a channel and an audience, and the prosecution needs a shape that 12 people can follow. That doesn't make any of them liars. It means you should ask what every single person is getting out of the version of the story that they're giving you. And that includes me. I get a video out of this. Let's be honest about that too. So here's my rule on this, and I'd offer it to you. Until somebody puts Sean Combs' name in an indictment connected to this case, not a podcast, not a memoir, not a headline, it stays in the somebody said column. And to be clear, that's not me defending them, right? I'm just not building a conviction out of a rumor about a request. So, do you think Deal ever takes the stand? Yes or no? Should prosecutors be allowed to build a case on a name that isn't charged? Yes or no? What are your thoughts? Last question. Deal says the state wants Diddy attached because it makes the East-West story make sense. Do we do the same thing? Do we want the tidy version because 30 years of not knowing is unbearable? Well, you know I got to jump on these questions before I let y'all get it. Because you know it ain't no fun. Do I think Deal ever takes a stand? No, not even close. I think they have what they have already, and they don't have what they don't have already. I mean, it's gonna be hard, even with Deal, to connect Diddy. I think that's a lot. So I mean, they can get him if they really want him. No matter what he says, if they want you up there, you there. I mean, he can be okay with sitting in jail if he's held in contempt, but at some point, if they want you, you will be there. Should prosecutors be allowed to build a case on a name that isn't charged? Yeah, they should, because just like this case, Diddy's name got connected by former LAPD detectives. You wouldn't know that unless they told you. I mean, clearly that was rumored. I believe Keffe D told the world that, actually. I think he actually released that initially. So, yeah. And I think the detective kind of confirmed Keffe D's story. I believe he released that information at some point, or disclosed that in an interview, or maybe it was in a book. I don't know, but I believe initial reports came from Keffe D on that, or may have at least. And last question. Dill says the state wants Diddy attached because it makes it. Yeah, maybe they would like that. but possibly they would like that. I mean, yeah, it packages the whole thing nicely. But you know, who says what the way it's already packaged isn't nice enough? What makes that nice enough? It's not enough big names involved. More big names. I'm sure prosecution would love more big names to have a trial of the century. You know, the next OJ trial, so they can write books and quit, retire, and go do other things after, and really be done working. Yeah, everybody wants that, right? So I don't think that makes it special or different. They all want the high profile case, so they can leverage that into whatever their next chapter in their careers are. Sure. That's sounds more likely than not. Anyway, that's my take. What's yours? Please leave your answers in the comment section below. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Once again, we are live tomorrow, today, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please check us out. But that's all I have. This is the Clout Report. I'm J. Cal. Peace.